Okay. Rohan Patel, comic book movie. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. I
Oh,
love your Mission Impossible, Jurassic World, Spider-Man. That's all awesome.
thank you. Thank you. They're fun to
But
do.
yeah, they were on repeat for so many years. But and Werewolf by Night also has a great score. But I wanted to get off started by asking about this project obviously draws a lot of inspiration from the classic Universal monster movies,
Yes.
uh, Wolfman, Dracula. Um, So were there any particular films that you were looking to or particular people, directors that you were looking like James Whale or someone when you're sort of conceptualizing this series, this special?
I think it was more of a feeling from my past, like every Saturday morning when I was a kid growing up, I would sit in front of the TV and watch monster movies for hours. That's what I did every single Saturday. And I loved those films. So for me, it was more of a general feeling that I was going for, more of this idea of what was a classic monster movie or what was a character who had an issue or a problem that was bigger than life, and in of course in the werewolf's case, it's becoming a werewolf. That's a big problem.
Mm.
Monster movies to me are allegories, which explore the problems that we all have. Here we are with characters that have a very specific issue they're dealing with. His happens to be turning into a monster or a werewolf, once a month, and how would you deal with that? Like, I always felt so bad for these characters. I always felt I had such empathy for them in a way, where everyone else was always so afraid of them and so scared and wanted to kill them. I always felt bad for them and wanted to help them, So I think when monster movies are done right, and that could mean an old classic Universal film, it could mean a Hammer movie, it could mean Ultraman or Godzilla, it could mean any of those. But when they're done right, you actually understand and feel empathy for those characters, especially the monsters, because they're the ones with the problem, not the person running from it. It's generally focused on the main character, the werewolf or whatever. So that's really what attracts me to it. That's what I was going for. I love the feeling of that, and it was just reaching back into my childhood and looking for that parallel. How do I try to recreate that feeling I had as a kid when I was watching these? And then,
Awesome.
of course,
Yeah.
later in life with films like Poltergeist too, as well.
Mhm.
Same thing, always the same. So there's scary and there's sadistic. I don't like sadistic. I like scary, and I like heart, and I also like a bit of fun and humor. So hopefully that's the balance we struck when we made this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. I love that scene with the Man Thing and Laura and Gael. And so and Gael and Laura such perfect casting for
aren't
this
they aren't
special.
they the
And
best? They
yeah,
are the
as
best.
yeah, absolutely. And so what did when you were casting these two roles, who also are these like badasses, but also have so much empathy and so much heart.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What were you looking for when you were casting these roles and when you auditioned both of them and that you knew they were right?
I was looking for people who had depth, people that had people you could empathize with. I didn't want somebody that could just come out and kick ass right out of the gate. I wanted people that would get hurt. I wanted people that would be afraid. I wanted people that would, react like real people. And in watching, if you've watched anything that Gael has done or anything that Laura has done, they are both amazing at that. They're almost instantly relatable, and I felt so lucky. I mean, I had never met Laura before, but I had met Gael before. We worked on Coco together. And I felt his performance in that was incredible, as it is with everything he does and has done over the many years. Uh, and then Laura was the same. I watched her in the Nevers, and I was just like, that's it. That's she has such confidence, but behind it, you also feel the fear. You feel the vulnerability, and that was important to me, to have people that weren't afraid to be vulnerable, because I think that that's the most important thing in telling a story like this, is to be able to see underneath the edge. So many times in movies like this, they just focus on top level, and I really wanted to go deeper with this and have people that you could read what was going on behind the look on their face, and and those two could do it in spades. It was great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Michael. This has been great. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too.
Thank you. And you killed Werewolf by Night. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.